In the film, a serious criminal who has committed many crimes kidnaps a wealthy prime minister and demands $2 million in exchange. This criminal always robs wealthy people, extorts money from them, and brutally kills them at the end. So will anyone stop this criminal? At the beginning of the film, a mentally ill young man is a bully in a store. He is threatening the store owner and others with a knife in his hand. Only Police Inspector Ma Sok-do can stop him. He is not answering his phone at the moment. After a while, Sok-do comes out of the crowd. Her boss, Jang Yi-soo, explains the situation to her and advises her to wait a while, saying that the girl and the shop owner have been taken hostage inside. Although Ji-chul is the leader of the group, the members of the group obey Sok-do. As she slipped in through the back door without telling the abuser, she tripped over the store's merchandise. Zaravan noticed him. Sok-do tries to settle the situation with the bully, but when the bully lunges at him, he picks him up and slams him to the ground. Sok-do frees the hostages and explains to the criminal that this is not a good job. After a while, when the criminal tries to attack him again, he knocks him to the ground with one blow. The next day, reporters denounced this work of the police inspector and published it in the newspaper. They are using their idleness to make fun of their captain. Just then, Captain Ji-chul came in. He tells Sok-do that he will be sending him to Vietnam on a secret mission and insists that a man will go with him. Despite the invitation of his teammates, Captain Ji-chul decides to go with him because he has a dream to travel in Vietnam. Sok-do worries about the captain's inability to speak English, and then the captain surprises him by saying a few words in English. So they flew to Vietnam and it turned out that Captain Ji-chul didn't speak the language. Sok-do tries to explain to them that he is from the Korean police. After a while, a representative of the embassy came and released them. While they were eating on the city streets, Sok-do recognized the criminals sitting at the other table. The captain calms him down and reminds him that they have come with a more important mission. A few minutes later, Sok-do spots an acquaintance and sits down to talk with him. An acquaintance advises him to be careful, saying that the police officers here are disreputable and that the city is run by violent leaders. The next day, they are searching for information about their case with the Vietnamese police. Sok-do noticed that a lot of tourists get lost here. The Vietnamese police said that the criminal recently turned himself in to the police of his own volition. This is the first time in the history of Vietnamese police. The inspector said that the criminal confessed his guilt because of a guilty conscience. The Korean police did not believe this and took it upon themselves to interrogate him. They decided to interrogate the criminal themselves because he was Korean. They get the necessary information by scaring the criminal and reach the specified house as per the said address. Sok-do broke the handle of the locked door. When they went inside, they found that the criminal's accomplice had already been killed. They come to the criminal again in the middle of the night and Sok-do blames him for the false information. Sok-do says he will release him to talk. The criminal doesn't want to go free because his accomplice tried to kill him after the last case. The criminal tells about what happened before. It is said that after coming from Korea, he joins the gang of a man named Kong Hae-sang. They robbed a rich young man and quarreled in the car over the money. The poor guy tries to escape using it, but after being caught, he offers them a large sum of money. At that moment, the leader of the group, Hae-sang, killed the young man and deprived his partners of a lot of money. One of the accomplices, Hae-sang, was also killed because he did not approve of his work. This criminal managed to escape from them by burying the corpses. He understood that he would survive in police custody. Death awaits him in freedom. Captain and Inspector Sok-do go to the burial site and are digging up the ground with shovels. After a while, Sok-do finds one of the corpses, and several more corpses come out before the police arrive. The Koreans resent the Vietnamese police for interfering, because they have their own rules. Sok-do decided to look for that Hae-sang, unable to let his countrymen die silently. He reaches the area where the thugs are and asks the people there about Hae-sang. Sok-do is resisted by the criminals, but he beats them all. At this time, the criminal arrived at Hae-sang's house. A group of other gang members are waiting for him inside to take revenge. When he goes in, they attack him with knives, but Hae-sang, being the deadly killer he is, destroys them all. In fact, these gang members were sent by the father of the poor boy who Hae-sang killed. His father has a big company in Vietnam and he earns millions a day. Now he is looking for Hae-sang to avenge his son. As they talk on the phone, Haesang slaps her and asks her to return the money. After some time, Captain and Inspector Sok-do arrive at the scene. There are dead bodies everywhere. Suddenly, Haesang sneaks out and attacks the captain with a knife, wounding him. Sok-do tries to arrest him and his partner, but Haesang manages to escape. In the evening, when the captain was in the hospital, the embassy representative insisted that they had again violated Vietnamese rules. As a result, they are reminded that they will now be sent back to their hometown. Sok-do convinces the embassy representative that he has tracked down the crime boss by talking to him. Taking advantage of the distraction of the guards, Haesang finds out from his partner that he has gone to Korea. Sok-do and the captain leave for Korea. After Sok-do arrives in his hometown, he meets an old criminal acquaintance. He asks him to gather information about the aliens from Korea. When he is displeased, he gets information about the situation by forcing him to do so. Sok-do's assistants caught Haesang's arrival in Korea on a surveillance camera. A little later, the captain and Inspector Sok-do hear from the head of the department about the violation in Vietnam. The head of the department says that he wants to give the job to someone else, but the captain and the inspector pretend to let it happen. The head of the department agrees and gives them a week to catch the criminal Haesang. Meanwhile, Haesang has found the rich minister she's been looking for and is taking the elevator down with him. He killed the guard and kidnapped the minister. Haesang is now demanding $2 million in exchange for the minister's release. The minister's wife, Kim In-suk, took this video yesterday. She is worried about her husband. After a while, Haesang calls the minister's wife. In-suk boldly talks to him and agrees on where to take the money. Sok-do chooses an old criminal acquaintance to drive the minister's wife. They are moving towards the address that Haesang mentioned. At this moment, one of Sok-do's assistants found the prime minister and saved him. Haesang injured her and fled the scene. At the same time, his accomplices are chasing after the prime minister's wife and trying to get the money. In-suk is caught trying to escape from the criminal, but Sok-do arrives in time to restrain her. Meanwhile, with the money in the hands of the criminal, Haesang searches for it and escapes, injuring the police officers at the scene. At night, the criminals meet at the beach and Haesang takes the money from him. Haesang decides to sneak out on the bus because there are police officers lurking around. Seeing this, Sok-do's acquaintance informs him. After a while, Sok-do finally found the criminal Haesang. Sok-do took the people off the bus so they wouldn't get hurt, and was left alone with the criminal. The criminal and the police inspector fought for a long time, and neither of them came away empty. Sok-do beats him up and hands him over to the police until they arrive. At the end of the film, the police officers are celebrating the completion of the mission. The captain entertains them with 30 years' worth of food. Thank you for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.